Sooner or later you want to safely store one or multiple requests you have built with Postman. In this lecture we'll have a look at exactly that, saving requests and sharing them with your team. The way you save requests in Postman is by placing them in a collection. And a collection allows you to better organize your requests, add documentation, attach tests, and easily share them with others. A collection is just a way to organize requests by putting similar requests, usually from a business point of view, in the same collection. But everything is really up to you. I usually prefer to put requests that go to a certain API in a collection. So if I'm using the Twitter API, I will have all the requests that handle Twitter API in a collection. So let's have a look on how you can create a collection and save some requests inside. I have to tell you there are multiple possibilities on how you can do that. You can create a new collection from the Collections tab on the left panel by clicking this button. And I'll give the collection a name. And additionally, I can give the collection a description. Then I hit the Create button. Voila! I can see my example.com collection. It contains 0 requests. Currently, I don't have any requests saved inside there. So what I can do is, let's imagine I create a completely new request. And when I click the Save button, I have the possibility of naming our request. Usually the request name will be the actual address that I entered, but I have the possibility of renaming that if I want to. And down below, I have the possibility of either creating a new collection or using an existing one. So if I already created the example.com collection, I will just get this collection and save the request. Now the collection will show that there is one request. It will even show you the method of that request. So let's see what happens if I create another request. For example, what happens if I post to example.com, and instead of save, because I'm in the same tab, I'll select save as, select the same collection and save it as well. So this will be a different request. Now there is one interesting thing you should notice. So every time I make a change to the collection, Postman will mark this collection as changed. So if I hit Save button, this will disappear and the collection will be saved. So as long as I don't hit the Save button, any changes I made to a collection, any changes that I made to a request inside a collection doesn't get automatically changed. But still, Postman will ask you if you're trying to accidentally close a request which you haven't saved yet, and will ask you, do you want to save it or not? Additionally, you have the possibility of revisiting the history. And for example, if there's one particular request that you recognize that you used in the past and you would like to add it, just hover your mouse over it and you will see here a plus button. And clicking the plus button is just like saving that request from there. Additionally, you can even select multiple requests from the history. And you will see the plus button up here. And you can add multiple requests to a certain collection. Collections not only allow you to store requests inside them, but they even offer other possibilities of organizing things inside. So for example, if I have a lot of requests already in my collection, it can become a bit messy and not so easy to find. So collections additionally support adding folders. I can create a folder with all my GET requests. And I can easily drag and drop any request that I have in my GET requests. So in this case, I don't have any GET requests. I'll create a new folder. Oops, instead of post I said get. So let's try to rename this. There's a lot of functionality in collections. Just by right clicking something, you will have the possibility of renaming or doing the stuff. So feel free to explore a bit. Okay, now that I have my 2 folders, there's nothing stopping me of adding even more folders. So if you guys need it, you can create quite a hierarchy here on folders. But usually just the level of folder was for me enough. All I have to do is drag and drop this request to my folder. And you'll see I don't have any collections. I don't have any requests on the first level. All the requests went to one folder and I can see them inside here. Additionally, if you want to do more sorting, you can just drag and drop stuff and it will rearrange it. And as I said, anytime right click on something and you will be able to do additional stuff like renaming, editing, duplicating, deleting, everything that you can imagine. It's available from the context menu. Most likely you're not the only one working on a Postman collection or generally working with Postman. If a colleague comes to you and say, hey, you already built those complex requests with Postman, can you just share them with me so that I can try them out as well, or maybe make a change? And this is when it starts to get interesting from this point of view, because you'll need to find a way to share that collection, usually with somebody. Postman offers you multiple ways on how you can do that. The simplest way, which doesn't require a lot of setup, is just exporting the collection as a file and importing when needed from a file. This can be used as well to just put your collection under version control. So you can imagine you export it to a Git repository and then you just commit this file and everybody can just import it from there. So let's have a look on how we can export the example.com collection. If I click here, an additional panel will pop up and I have the possibility with this button to download the collection. Now I highly recommend that you download the collection in version 2 because it's much more advanced and much more readable. And after that, all you have to do is click the export button. And either you later or a colleague of yours can just go here on top and click the import button. You're already at import file. And you'll see here the example.com collection. And I will just import it as a copy because I already have it. So Postman detected that I already have that collection and asks basically if I want to override it or not. Now I actually don't need this collection, so I'll just go ahead and delete it. But this is basically how it works. There are additional possibilities as well. The other one is by sharing a link, and that requires a Postman account. Now getting a Postman account is, as far as I know, totally free and doesn't have any implications for your account. It's just included in your free package, let's call it that way. But you should be aware that once you connect with a Postman account to your Postman installation, then automatically everything that you put in Postman will be synced with the Postman servers. So make sure in advance that you are not sharing any information with Postman that you are not legally allowed to or not really comfortable to before actually using this function. Now, as you can see here above, I'm not signed in. And if I click this button, I have the possibility of creating a new account. I click the register button, then I'm connected with Postman. Okay, you will see here above there's a button that's actually working in the background. Because after all, once you have an account, Postman will start synchronizing everything with their servers. If I go to postman.com, I'll be able here to see some interesting stuff. And one of the tabs above is this collection. And you'll see here, these are all my private collections. So everything that I had in Postman is now visible on postman.com because I connected my account. As I said, one possibility is sharing a link. So now if I go to my collection and I go to share, I have this collection link possibility here. And if I click it, I actually get a link to my collection. So I can just copy this link and send it to somebody. Now, the contents of the link usually doesn't get updated once you make changes to your collection. So it will not stay in sync with everything. But somebody else can just use this link, go to import from link, put it here, and then it will create that collection. Additionally, there are two more features. So there's the possibility of embedding a button which allows you to run the collection, which I will not show in this lecture. And there's advanced team sharing, which requires a Postman Pro account, which I will discuss a bit later in the course. So this lecture should have given you an overview on how you can save your work with Postman and how you can share it.